Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to World of Warcraft Legion, and welcome back to Hallow's End, guys. It is that time of year once again. I'm recording this on a Sunday evening on the 29th. Hallow's End's last day is on the 31st on Halloween, and I figured we can go ahead and knock out a bunch of Hallow's End festivities. It's one of my favorite holidays in all of Warcraft. But before we do that, I'm actually queued up for the Headless Horseman now. We have some mail from good old the Reisty. Happy Hallow's End. Greetings, Sully. It's that time of year where people play identity theft to get surgery treats. And people continuously kill some poor headless dude in hopes that he gives them this horse. Yeah, it's Hallow's End. I have a question regarding Hallow's End that really needs answering. The ultimate question to end them all. One that trumps even the questions to the secrets of the universe. Pirates and ninjas. This is a very serious question and should not be taken lightly. The Reisty. Well, I will take you 20 silver. Oh, we got another one. Oh, I almost forgot. I caught my own jack-o'-lanterns with a hole at the bottom. We all know that's Hallow's End tradition to wear a pumpkin with a scary face on it to get into the spooky spirit, you know? Here, have some of mine. Well, thank you muchly. And to answer your question, I gotta say, I'm kind of inclined toward pirates. Couldn't tell you why. Just a feeling I got. No reason. So, let's go ahead and wait for the Headless Horseman, and we will go kill ourselves a specter thing. And here we go, to good old Scarlet Monastery. Where we get to hear the ghost of Christopher Walken talk to us. That would be so awesome if you talked in Christopher Walken's voice. It's like, it is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now, the righteous one.
It is over. Your search is done. Let fate choose now, the righteous one.
See, wouldn't that be better? By the way, I haven't even thought of Headless Horseman since last Hallow's End. So that tells you how many times I've done this. And where'd his skull go? There you are. Looks like they haven't done anything to increase the difficulty of the fight, but they rarely do. They do that first year to kind of, if there's like an upgrade to level cap or something, and then after that it's pretty much stays exactly the same. But I do know people who have been farming for years and years and years to try and get the Headless Horseman's mount, which I am very fortunate to already have. There we go.
What new adventure lies in store?
That's my Demon Hunter's mount, actually. Band of the Petrified Pumpkin. Neat. 880 ring, which is useless to me, but still, I will not spurn it. And while I'm here, hey you. And I think he got away before the pumpkin actually hit him in the face, but that is the Headless Horseman done for the day. Let's head over to the Crooked Tree and see what happens when we try and take on some witches. I also want to go ahead and point out that it looks like Swindle is actually using the machine gun on the rocket now, which is good. I kind of liked his very casual flying seat, but I think this is a little bit more, I guess, realistic that you would use the machine guns. Guess we'll have to try that again. In the meantime,
what brings you here?
Beware the Crooked Tree. Now, we've all done this before.
Farewell.
And there's the daily. And there's the cauldron. And we're going to go ahead and cloak. Because I know something nasty is about to pop up at us, I think. Hello, friend. Unfortunately, I cannot summon the mech, so we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. But we are a lot nastier of a combatant than we were back when we first did this. Do a little bit more damage. Oh, we got feared. Much better. Looks like blind did not work with that for some reason. Otherwise, it looks like a basic tank and spank fight. There we go. Oh, except for the Noose Titans.
Ishnu Dal Diem.
Yeah.
Be careful.
There's the hag's belongings. What's in the bag? Tricky treats and Hallowed Wand Ninja. Eh, you know what? Why not? Oh, I can't ninja myself. And I can't ninja Alliance, it looks like. That's unfortunate. Let's see if there's anyone in town. Yeah, I like that actually a lot more. Has a more of a tailspin vibe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it is the era of pumpkin spice everything, guys. Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice cookies, pumpkin spice, you name it, there's pumpkin spice for it. I am actually drinking right now a pumpkin spice stout. It is Black-o'-lantern pumpkin stout by Wasatch Brewery, and it's actually not too bad. It's got the kind of bitter taste that I like in a stout. So what do we do now? I guess travel to Undercity, because we've gotten everything done here. That's a daily. And inside the bag, I got some tricky treats. How much do we have? We have 14 tricky treats. And let's put on a appropriate mask. There we go. Maybe something with some tusks. What you want? Yeah, I think that'll work. So, to Undercity. Oh, that's weird. So I'm here in Undercity, and there's actually an NPC with a quest for me. Estelle Gendry, Heirloom Curator. Now, this is where you would go.
I am forsaken.
Numismatics.
I told him it was a fool's errand. Of course he would get himself killed over a handful of coins. Oh well, there are always new lovers to find. You'll have to do in the meantime. And you're quite easy on the eyes, aren't you? Be a dear and find me more coins look like this one. I need them for research.
Bring misprinted Draenic coins to Estelle Gendry in Undercity. Misprinted Draenic coins can be found when completing your first random heroic Draenor dungeon each day. Oh. Upgrade an heirloom armor, trinket, shield, or offhand, allowing it to increase in power to level 90. I did not know that.
Beware the living.
How cool. Well, I can go ahead and get some farming going on that and get all my heirloom gear up to 90 if I choose to level up an alt. That is very, very handy. Oh yeah, there's stink bombs. I keep on forgetting about that. And we also have the Wicker Man thing going on here too. Well, first things first. Candy bucket. Got some tricky treats. And a ghoul wand. Doesn't look like there's any players around. They're probably all outside. If there's any people even on right now. Guess there's only one way to find out. I actually kind of want to... let me remove the jack-o'-lantern. I wanted to see Swindle's expression. Yeah, all business. Good, good, good. Now, the only item of real interest that I have been told about for this year's Hallow's End is a very specific costume, which is appropriate considering the fact that we are here in the ruins of Loiteron. I guess we'll have to see. It has been a long time since I've been to the Undercity if I can't remember where to go. Like, here's where Arthas' dad died a horrible death. And let's see. By the way, spoiler alert for those of you. Oh, we need to set the Wicker Man on fire. Hopefully Nicolas Cage is inside.
Yes.
Time to build up. Time to break down. Oh yeah, there's a Wicker Man in front of Stormwind
Dark
too.
Lady watch over you.
Okay, well. Ooh, pretty. I have a theory about the next expansion, guys. I want to go ahead and share it with you because it's appropriate. Clean up in Undercity. Stink bombs away.
Embrace the shadow.
Oh, we got some little PvP stuff to do. Speak with the innkeepers. And we get tricky treats. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Well, first things first. We got wand vendor, candy, and toy vendor. What do we got? Toys. There it is. Exquisite costume set, the Lich King. There's also Deathwing, Grom, and Xavius. So don't really care about Xavius, but Grom, Deathwing, and the Lich King are definitely cool. And we only got 17 tricky treats, so I don't think we're going to get them. But is there anything for... Wear a horsetail costume. Wear a horse head costume. Builds a little burning wicker man that increases the spirits of those nearby by 4 and allows cooking. And the magic broom is still Hallow's End only, which is an absolute shame. They really need to just make that all the time. Mask vendor, and they've actually increased the races available. Pet vendor, there we go. Mad alchemist, Yip Saran, Naxi. Not sure what Naxi is. Cur, feline familiar, sinister squashling.
Glory to the Horde.
Well, you know what, Smee? Oh. Oh, the Yip Saran costume is 150? Good lord. Well. Tell you what, little guy. There you go. Let's see you with those weird glowy goggles that don't seem to fit you right. Oh well. But while I'm waiting, oh, someone put out the Wicker Man. And Wicker Man Guardian, level 110 elite. Oh, those are cool looking abominations. With the googly eye and everything. Well, let's go ahead and get rid of the stink bombs here, and I'll tell you my theory. Now, spoiler alert, by the way. There's a lot of talk about Jaina turning into a baddie. Going full, like, evil frost witch and going to town on anyone who would do her wrong. So, I've been kind of curious if maybe I don't really know what the end game for it is, but what I would like to see as a storyteller is the tables turned. And what I mean by that is one of the only things that was holding on to any shred of humanity in Arthas when he was the Lich King was Jaina. At least in terms of the narrative, it came off like that sometimes. Jaina was one of the few people that could actually talk to Arthas in a lot of different aspects. What I think would be a cool thing to do...
What is it?
What do you want to do? Oh.
Trust no one.
Yeah, you want me to cluck like a chicken? Yeah, okay.
We got a friggin' chicken over here. Buck.
There, you happy?
Speak quickly. Beware the living.
Got myself a nice Undercity mint there. But if it gets to the point that Jaina can't be stopped, or they're trying really hard to tap back into the old Jaina Proudmoore, and this is, keep in mind, this is determining if they're actually going to go through with this, but I think it would be really cool to tap into the part of Draenor, Azeroth in Draenor's timeline, because remember, that timeline is very, very different than the normal timeline. Draenor is completely different. suffice it to say, Azeroth would be completely different as well. I would like them to go back in time and find some way to get to Azeroth from Draenor and find Arthas, an uncorrupted Arthas. You know, without the Lich King, the Paladin Arthas, and bring him in to try and speak, talk some sense to this new evil Jaina. I think that would be a really interesting way to go about it and reintroduce the Arthas character. Now, keep in mind the Arthas character, they do this horrible thing. Oh, you got stink bombed as well there, Dark Ranger? Here, I'm here to help. I just think it'd be an interesting way to do it, to introduce Arthas again, but as a completely different character. And if he ends up stuck in our world, in like this current timeline, all the stigma and what he would feel he would have to do to make up for his alter ego, or his alternate version, who did so much horrible things, and what would Sylvanas say? What would Sylvanas do? I don't know if I ever talked about this on the series, but one thing I would have loved to have seen how Wrath of the Lich King ended is, don't get me wrong, it ended okay, but what I would have loved to have seen is Arthas go down the way that Ulic Queldroma did in Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. And how that went is, I'll sum it up, but Ulic Queldroma, Jedi who fell, became a Dark Jedi, became a Sith apprentice under Exar Kun, basically defeats Exar Kun, saves the galaxy, redeems himself, okay? Now, his connection to the Force becomes severed. It's kind of the price he has to pay for saving the galaxy. Now, I believe this is how the story went. It's been a long time since I've read Tales of the Jedi. But through some circumstances, he is cut off from the Force. I believe one of the Sunriders does it to him. But he has basically determined, he's like, okay, I'm going to go away from all this, go away from the galaxy that I've spurned and hurt and all this, and I'll go into exile, and that's how I'm going to deal with it. Well, there's this one little guy who works at this space station, who I don't know if he's over the course of the entire comic or the graphic novel series, but he's obsessed with like the heroes and the villains and fantasizes about it all the time. He's just like the guy who killed Jesse James, and when he sees Ulic Queldroma, he's like, well, that's Ulic Queldroma, I'm going to be a hero, and then just shoots Ulic and kills him. And Ulic can't do anything because he's not attuned to the Force, he doesn't have any of his Jedi stuff anymore, and he just dies. It's a sad way to go, because he's about to have his happily ever after kind of thing. It's kind of like the John Marston Nothing Gets Forgiven vibe. Let's go ahead and head to Stormwind, and I can finish this story up. Still very weird to see Argus here over Azeroth. Very strange. So, the whole story that I wanted to go with Arthas, and once again, I do apologize if I've said this on the series before, but I kind of wanted Ner'zhul to still be the dominant personality in the armor. Or they kind of alluded to the fact that the one shred of Arthas' goodness was the thing keeping the Scourge from overwhelming all of Azeroth. I would have liked them to push that a little bit more. That Arthas was seeing the horrible stuff that was happening, and that good side was trying to help out, was having to be pushed back by Ner'zhul, who was the orc, who was also, who basically was the Lich King armor and the Lich King. But they basically put it in a storyline that, Arthas overtook Ner'zhul's personality, or whatever, which I think was kind of stupid. So that would be really awesome, I thought, to have had, when you fight Arthas, you have your first few phases.
I need a tug.
Or, oh lord. Okay. Douse. There we go. Anyway, you would talk to Arthas, and then you'd have the fight, 1 or 2 phases. You're fighting Arthas in Lich King armor, and he's the Lich King. But that little good piece of Arthas that was left in is like trying to fight against Ner'zhul, trying to fight against Ner'zhul, and finally, your Arthas is able to beat that influence back, he's like, I'm sorry for everything I've done. I want to help you fix this. And the armor, like, leaves him, like, breaks off of his body. Let's go ahead and stealth here so I can kind of get a vibe of what's going on here. Can we drop just the bombs? Where do we drop the bombs? I don't see the bombs. Are they in my engineering bag? No? Alright, well, I guess we can go hunting for them here. Troll female, wind ninja, alchemist. Weird. Because I could have sworn that we grabbed the bags from somewhere and then deal with that appropriately, but anyway. So all the pieces of the armor leave Arthas, and he's just standing there, and then the armor comes to life as Ner'zhul, basically calling Arthas pathetic, and then you have to fight the armor. You have to fight the Lich King himself. And after defeating the armor, and the armor breaks and Frostmourne is shattered, very similar to what happened in the game. But you have that moment where Jaina, because Jaina was part of that raid as well, Jaina and Sarfang. Jaina sees Arthas, and they look at each other, and Jaina realizes that the old Arthas is back, and they're about to hug. And then the moment that they are about to touch, all of a sudden, you hear, "Oh Lord." You don't hear, "Oh Lord." Go away. Eh. Okay, fine. Stupid. I was trying to tell a story, and you had to be that guy. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Go away. Now then, do I have vanishing powder? Oh, there we go. Well, right as they're about to touch, or about to hug, you just hear, and there is a arrow in Arthas's back, or chest, or something like that. And Arthas just kind of looks at Jaina and tries to mouth her name, and then just falls. And you look, and there's Sylvanas, who never forgot what Arthas did to her. And all the Blood Elf people, or all the Elven people. It's that whole nothing gets forgiven, and that's how Arthas dies. He redeems himself, but he still can't be forgiven for his actions. I think that would be really cool. Take a broomstick flight over Stormwind. Oh, you know what? I did this... Oh, no. I think I did this last year, too. I flew all the way to Stormwind and then did not realize you had to speak to the woman to take a broomstick flight over Stormwind. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. Ooh, it's time for a real trick-or-treat. Lingtron 6000. Come on, we were talking about Arthas, now would be a good time for Invincible. Survey says... Boo. Yeah, I got a little bit of gold out of it. I won't complain. But I think that would have been a good ending to the Arthas character. Because I think he kind of just went out with your typical, this is the bad guy, and now he's dead kind of thing. I mean, what they did with Bolvar was very cool, and I'd like to see that storyline kind of develop on the Death Knight side as to what exactly is Bolvar's intentions later. But Arthas was just a really cool character. I liked Arthas more than Illidan. Though because of what they've been able to do with Legion, they've expanded on Illidan's character and his personality and his complexity to the point that he actually seems to be a much more fleshed out and better character than Arthas. So maybe Blizzard will introduce Arthas again in another way. That'd be very nice. Or they may just say, hey, you know what? He's dead. But I would like Warcraft at times to be a little bit like comic books and nothing stays dead. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I am forsaken.
So we got that. Who do we talk to for a broom flight?
What would you ask of...
Trying to remember here. I think it's Candace Fenlow.
I'm
Nope.
listening.
Who do I chat with? Krina Fenlo. Well then, if I was Krina Fenlo, where would I be? There she is.
I haven't got all day.
Yeah, neither do I. Let's go ahead and attack Stormwind.
Goodbye.
Already took the long way. No, I don't think we have... There we go. Oh, dear. This is Hallow's End. This is Hallow's End. Hallow's End. Hallow's End. Hallow's End. Hallow's End. Someone needs to do the I Am Halloween song to that. That would be awesome. I don't know what I'm actually going to do on Halloween. What are you...
I'm out of range.
Can we hit the prisoner? Boo. But what are you guys' Halloween plans? Oh, hit the kid. Hit the little human worm baby. It's like, I think I may watch some old Hammer horror films. Maybe A Nightmare Before Christmas. I know a lot of people are going to go see Saw. Very interesting to see Saw back as the Halloween tradition. I think they kind of... That was a dead horse. But as long as there's money to be made, they will do as much as they can with what they have. Those Saw movies are very, very cheap to make relatively to other films. And they make way over what they cost. I really like the first Saw movie because it was made for like $1 million or something like that. It was an independent film. It was original. It was very cool. I liked the villain, the premise of it. And it also had some stars from my childhood like Danny Glover and Cary Elwes. But the other ones, 2 and 3 I watched and I was like, okay, that was watchable. The rest of them just became like basically torture porn. So I stopped watching them after that. But I think one of the reasons the first Saw was so successful was the fact that I think people from my generation, my age group, there was just something kind of weird about seeing Wesley from Princess Bride being caught by a serial killer. I mean, we're kind of like, well, you know, Wesley survived the machine. He should be able to take out this whole thing where he has to cut his foot off. It'll be fine. Well, you know, I that's why I watched it, actually, to see Cary Elwes, because I think he's a really good actor.
What will you require? Our time will come.
And there we go. And that pretty much sums up... Oh, wait a minute. No. They're still fighting a fire. Do we have time for that? Let's head over here. Over to Brill. And I am all here by my lonesome. And you know what that means? That means that I am not going to be able to fight the Horseman's Fires. Which is a shame. And now I'm... what are they called? The Rubian. So, I think I'm going to go spin a web elsewhere, guys. And oh, that's just really creepy. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So let's get Smee. Let's get his costume on. There we are. And all is well with the world. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you all have a very fun and safe Halloween. Whether you're trick-or-treating or celebrating with friends, drinking, you know, whatever. Just have a good time, and we will see you down the road. Hope you all have enjoyed the episode. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.